Hi there guys, hope everyone's keeping well, and also Happy New Year and hope you had a good Christmas. Today we are kicking off 2023 with a review of Battlemasters, a game by Milton Bradley and Games Workshop back in '92, I believe it was, when it was released. A game that I remember seeing in Toys R Us and other toy shops at the time, and I remember seeing the adverts on TV, but not something I picked up. But today we're going to have a look at it. Obviously, like I said, this isn't my original copy. This is one I got off of eBay a couple of years back now, I think it was. Almost like 99% complete. I think it was just missing one card and the rule book. But I managed to go online and get a PDF copy of the rule book, which is no problem. So I can play it without any problems at all. So obviously there is the box. It is a big box, which probably a lot of you know how big this box is. And if I actually stand up, I've set it all up on the table to have a look at. The mat is actually so big that I've had to fold it over because it won't fit on my dining table. So that is only half the size of the mat. Imagine that doubled over. It is huge. It is one big mat. So like I said, today we're just going to have a look at the components and let's crack on. So this is different from other miniature games because it is a tabletop game. So it's like Warhammer Fantasy, but easier to play. Not so many rules, not so many dice. I mean, it is a dice game, but not so many dice rolls. As you can see, we'll start with the Empire because it's two factions. You've got the Empire and the Forces of Chaos, which include, as you can see, you've got ogres, orcs, goblins, chaos knights, beastmen, chaos warriors, and I think that's it. Oh, and you've got chaos archers as well, which are quite interesting figures. We'll get to them in a minute. But we'll start with the good guys. So this is the Empire, and all the miniatures come on these green bases. And if I turn it round, it's actually got the name of the regiment on the back, and that number is how many dice they roll in combat or defense. So again, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, this is the Imperial Knights. So these are your leaders for the good guys. Classic sort of early 90s Games Workshop models. Chunky knights on horseback, but really, really nice detail. And then we'll move on. There are 3 regiments of these knights, but I've just got the one out to show you. There's these guys with the blue horses, and then there's yellow ones and red ones as well. So altogether there's 4 regiments of knights for the Empire Army. And then there is 2 regiments of archers, which we have here. Now, like I said, this isn't my set, so I didn't paint these. But these are the Imperial Archers. I said there's two sets of them. And then we have your infantry. Excuse me. You've got 3 sets of halberdiers, 3 regiments of these guys. Again, classic 90s Games Workshop Citadel miniatures. And then we have a regiment of crossbowmen, which I've just dropped, and 2 of them have fallen off, but I'll show you the last 3. So these are your crossbowmen. You get 1 set of those. And then the last one you get for the Empire, which I think is a lot of people's favourite, is the cannon. So you got the cannon and the crew. Really nice models. Looks really great on the battlefield. So that's the Empire Army. Now we'll move on to the Chaos Forces. I have to be careful here because a lot of the models aren't attached to the bases. So this is your regiment of Chaos Knights, or Champions of Chaos. These are the bosses, the leaders. So you've got 3 Chaos Knights on horseback. And then the other cavalry for the bad guys are Wolf Riders. Now I believe there is 2 regiments of Wolf Riders. I've just got the one here to show you. But they're the Wolf Riders. Then you have got your Goblin Regiment. There are a couple of these as well. Regiments of Goblins. Then we move on up to the Orcs. There's 2 regiments of Orcs. And we will move on to the Beastmen. There's two regiments of these as well, I believe, yep. Like I said, I haven't got them all out because it would just take up too much space. So I've just got one set of each model out. There's your Beastmen. Then we have the Chaos Warriors. A couple of regiments of these guys. They look really cool. And then these ones are really interesting. These are the Chaos Archers. Oh yeah, Chaos Bowmen. But they are really nice models. And then the last one is the big bad for the Chaos Army. And obviously I think my favourite is the Ogre. Hang on while I pick him up properly. Now the Ogre and the Cannon in this game have some really interesting rules, which I will show you in a second. But yeah, there's the Ogre. And the last model that came with this game, you can see it in the corner here, is the Tower. It's the only bit of scenery that comes with the game, apart from a couple of little plastic hedges. But yeah, so this is the Tower. You can use this to defend or attack, whatever sort of scenario you're playing in the game. So one of your regiments will just sit on top, like that. So there you go. So that's all the models. Like I said, it is a dice rolling game. So you've got 6 dice, you've got skulls and blank spaces. And like I said, on the backs of is their dice number. So they roll it. That's free for defense and free for attack. And obviously, oh, I forgot to show you the shield as well. What an numpty. There you go. So when you roll into, say, like if those halberdiers were attacking someone, you'd roll your 3 dice. So they got 1 hit. And then those 2 are useless. So then the guys who are defending would roll the same. Unfortunately, they just rolled a shield, so they blocked that attack. And it's as simple as that. And every single regiment has 3 hit points. So once they lose their 3 life points, that's it, they're out of the game. And how, excuse me a minute, how the game works, instead of everyone taking turns and moving all their army in one go, and then the next player moves all their army and so on, is you have these cards. You've got these cards here, and I don't know if they're shuffled or not, so excuse me. But you flip them over and see there is the the Goblin Wolf Riders and the Goblin Warriors. So that means they'd have a turn. And then you'd flip the next card up, and it's the Imperial Cannon. Then the Cannon would have a turn, and so on. You keep going. So more Goblins again. This one means the Chaos Knights get an extra attack and a charge on that turn. This one means you can use Chaos Knights, Beastmen and Goblins. They get a go. Let's find another one for the good guys. No, that means the Wolf Riders move 2 spaces. Come on, let's find one. There you go. There's one for the Imperial Knights. And so that's how the game works. So you just draw a card. So like you saw there, you could have 4 or 5 cards of all chaos moving, and then only 1 card for the Imperials, which is sounds a bit unfair, but it actually does make the game quite interesting, because I've played this quite a few times with my kids now, and it does make for quite an entertaining game. Last couple of bits I'm going to show you is the cannon. The cannon functions in quite an interesting way. So say like if you had your cannon on this section there, and you were shooting, let me just make a bit of space. Let's say you were shooting at these orcs all the way over there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares away. Well, not squares, hexes. So you'd use these little cannonball tokens. Excuse my dog, just ignore her. So, hang on, I've got them round the wrong way, because I didn't fold them properly. Not fold them, stack them up properly. So anyway, what you've got, so you start with good God, you can tell I prepared for this, can't you? Anyway, so all you do, so you put these down, so you pop them down there, so they make a line towards the target you're going for, and then you flip them over. So that means the cannonball's flying, that means it's still moving, it's still going. It exploded before it actually hit the target. But if I remember rightly in the rules, an explosion, any areas around there take damage as well. Let's just see what, see, it would have been a bouncing ball. A bouncing cannonball. So that's how the cannon works. So sometimes you have to be careful, because you can actually, if you were to draw that right there, on your turn, you could actually end up blowing up your cannon at the start of the game. So you, although it's quite lucky, it is just luck how the tiles come out. You do have to be careful, because sometimes, like I said, you can, and I think I actually done it once, where on my first go using the cannon, I blew it up and it was out of the game. And then I ended up losing as well, I think. And the other character who's quite interesting is the ogre. Now the ogre has these 6 cards. And what you do, you shuffle the pack of 6 cards, and then you flip them over. So that means he moves 1. Then he gets an attack. He moves again. Another attack. And then he moves again. Actually, I've just remembered this is the deck that I'm actually missing one of the cards from. I'm missing one of the attack cards for the ogre. But yeah, so the ogre is quite a powerful character, because he can move up to 3 times and he can attack up to 3 times. And obviously he does 4 damage, which makes him quite formidable in combat. And I think that is about it. There's a few other little things you get, some more cardboard. You get these little tokens you can put down on the board. You've got defences you can use. So you could pop that on there, and then you could actually put your cannon behind there, and that would give it a defense bonus. There's quite a few of these. They're all double-sided. And there's a little pass there, so you could put that somewhere. Obviously, there's no way of crossing the river unless you've got this tile in play. Then your regiments can cross the river. These are little hedge tokens. They're nothing special, just a little bit of plastic. You can just about see there the hedge and the fence. They would just go down. So you could put them on the sides of roads, sort of block off the enemy's advance. Like that. And that is it, guys. That is Battle Masters in a nutshell. Like I said, it is a really good game to play. Normally our games that I play with my kids last about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. depending on how many units we play. As like I said at the start, because the board is so big, the mat is so big, we only use half of it on the table, so we sort of condense down the amount of units we use. So I think we only have like 7 units aside because of the space. I mean, we tried to play it on the floor once, and it killed my back. It wasn't pleasant getting up and down off the floor, moving your models about. It wasn't great. I can assure you. But yeah, there you go. That is Battle Masters. There's one more thing I wanted to show you actually, because obviously this game comes with a lot of knights. As you can see, you've got the knights and obviously the Chaos Knights. In one of my issues of White Dwarf, I've got it here, issue 215, you got the full tilt jousting game inside, and sadly I don't own as much Games Workshop miniatures, Citadel miniatures, as I did, so I don't have any knights or anything to play the full tilt game with, apart from these guys. So what I was thinking of doing was, I mean, I think these ones are actually stuck down a little bit, but I was thinking of removing these from the tiles and then putting them on the single bases, the horse bases, the little black rectangle ones, and then using them in my games of full tilts, and then I can still fit the 3 horses back on these green tiles when I'm playing Battle Masters. So that's something I'm toying with. I just need to probably go on eBay and find a bunch of cheap bases, which is probably pick them up for a few quid. But that's a video I'll probably be doing in the future, because I've already taken all the cards, scenery out of this issue of White Dwarf and put them together. So yeah, so at some point I will get round to removing these guys and the other knights I have as well, popping them on their bases individually and having a couple of games of full tilt, which I'll have to do a video about. There you have it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I haven't rabbled on too long. And I'm looking forward to getting some new videos up, some more videos, sort of the end of the month and into February. I've got a few more videos planned. But again, thank you very much for watching, and you all take care, and I'll see you soon.